Hi, everyone. Well, today I'm going to tell you a kind of sad story, and that is the flooding in China. Yeah, and again, before we continue, don't forget to check your subscription. Yeah, because they disappear sometimes for no reason. So we all probably have heard about it has been a tremendous flooding. Yeah, actually, both last year, 2020, and this year, China has a lot of flooding. Yeah, and this time is even worse than normal. Interesting is, the whole province of Henan has a lot of area flooded. But the worst is, the capital of the province, Henan, Zhengzhou, is a 12 million people city, all underwater, basically all underwater, which is huge. And important to understand is the flooding came for the 99.9% of the inhabitants in that city came unexpected. Yeah? Although it has been raining for days, but it did not cause a huge flooding. But the flooding came actually within one day. I think it was the day, the 21st of July or something. Yeah? And because someone decided to open up a reservoir and let the water go because the water was reaching very dangerous level. Now, the thing is, they never warned the people in advance. So huge amount of water flow into the mega city. And as witness reported, the whole city was full of water after maybe 8 hours, which is, fast. Yeah. So it is not that simple because of days of rains. Yeah. Now, interesting is the official figures saying that only 56 people died, yeah, and some 360,000 people are homeless. Can that be possible? I mean, that figure was for the whole province of Henan. And Zhengzhou is only a city, although it has 12 million inhabitants, yeah? So can that be true? No, impossible. I can just give you one example. I mean, I cannot go there and count, yeah? And it's sad. It's a sad figure, of course, that people die. But as an authority, you have to stay honest. You have to tell people the truth, yeah? And now I say it cannot be true because there is a long tunnel through the city, the Jingguang Tunnel, yeah? The tunnel through the city is about 4 kilometers long, 4 kilometers. So, and in both directions is 3 lanes. And the flooding came in rush hour. If I'm not wrong, I remember it was something in the afternoon, 4, 5 o'clock. Usually, this tunnel will always jam with cars. So I had make a very conservative calculation. I just assumed that, although it was traffic jam, I assumed that every car takes about 10 meters distance. So with 3 lanes in one direction, 3 lanes in the other, and 4 kilometers, I came out that there must be continuously at least 2,400 cars in the tunnel. At least. It could be more. And we could see from the picture, when the water came, all these cars were locked in the tunnel. They could not come up. And the whole tunnel was full of water. And only that will cause, I bet, more than 56 people death. And actually, we have seen also video sip out from Zhengzhou of an ordinary people, shot by their mobile phone, and you could see later people carry out bodies from the tunnel. So, I mean, now the question is, why they can't tell people the truth? Two reasons. Well, one reason is the local officials, they know if a natural catastrophe ends up with a lot of death, a lot of casualty, a lot of losses, then they have done a bad job. They may lose their job. They may get fired, and so on. So that's one reason. Now, those officials on the top level, they also don't mind that the local official lies. Even if they know, I'm sure they know they lie. And why? Because for Chinese Communist Party, they think now their strategy has moved from hiding our strength and wait for our time, right? Now they think the time has come. So now we don't need we should not hide our strength. The other way around, we should show off our strength. So such local officials report, which lies, by on one side saying, oh, this is the biggest flooding since 1,000 years. Some even say 5,000 years. I don't know where they found the documentation recorded for 1,000 years ago or even 5,000 years ago. But, it fit into the party strategy. Yeah, right, 1,000 years worst flooding and only 56 people died. So this is, unfortunately, China under the rule of CCP. Now, when we talk about this flooding, I recall a couple of my viewers requested me to talk about the Three Gorges. And I promised I would do it one day. And now it's time. The time has come. You see, I remember about, say, 25, 30 years ago, the Chinese Communist Party propaganda was telling the whole world how fantastic this Three Gorges project is. When the huge reservoir will be finished with the world's biggest dam, then China will no longer, at least half of China, linked to the Yangtze River, will no longer have any problem with flooding. Because it is so fantastic, so big, it can regulate. When it is too little rain, it will give us water for the agriculture. And when it's too much rain, it will, be sucked up by the reservoir, so people have a great life. But since this Three Gorges Dam was put into operation, I think it's about, if I'm not wrong, 15 years ago, it has been flooding and flooding and flooding, and drought and flooding. So all their beautiful promise to the people were not true. Why? Why is not true? Because they were fighting against the nature. They were fighting against the divine power. You see, since the establishment of the People's Republic of China, that means since the Chinese Communist Party took power, in their propaganda, they always talk about 人定胜天, which means human beings for sure are superior to the heaven. Heaven means, in a way, in Chinese language, heaven means God or divine beings. This is because they are atheists. They believe that. So they don't have any respect for nature. Actually, Yangtze River or any other river is like a living being. It has its life. And it's very complicated. Why this river can survive thousands of years, there's a reason. And they have no respect for that. They look at it as a piece of bread and they cut it whenever they want and however they want. And that's the problem. So and why they have to build it? Well, because already when Mao Zedong was the party boss, he was swimming in Yangtze River, and then he already talked about, we should control this river. We should, get it obedient to us. So that was already laid down, the strategy to control, to regulate, they call it. And then later, the Prime Minister Li Peng, who has studied irrigation in Soviet Union. So he took that as his chance to become the hero, yeah, and decided to launch this project. Billion and billion of dollar flow into that project. And I personally did visited this this site where they built the Three Gorges. Yeah, I was there as a representative of my company, who actually deliver some of the control system and the monitoring system for the whole electricity distribution and generation of the Three Gorges. Yeah, but one thing I must say is true that the Communist Party took it very serious to build this dam, because they all know, all the people involved, they all know this project is watched by the highest leader. And I remember 2002 when I was there, the one who was a project leader for this project, it was Zhu Rongji at that time, the prime minister. Yeah? So he personally acted as project manager. And my customer told me that Zhu Rongji has given a directive that don't save too much money, buy whatever it is good. And if the foreign system are better, foreign equipment are better, yeah, don't save that money. But so what's good for us foreign companies, yeah? But so in a way, I can say that the Three Gorges Dam probably compared to many other dams and many other reservoirs are better built in quality, but still there's a big problem, because there is a lot of corruption, and there are too many people involved in such project who don't have respect for the huge nature, for the cosmic power, for the divine power. They think they understand everything, but it's not true. A river is a very complicated living being. So when you build a dam like this, you are taking a knife and chop off in the middle of a river, and the consequence is actually not foreseeable. At least I'm not an expert in irrigation, but one thing is very logical. If you stop the water, you build a big reservoir, then where water used to flow very fast, start to slow down, yeah, inevitably. And when water starts to slow down its flow, then things will settle down on the bottom of the river, and the bottom of the river will then rise slowly, and after many years, it come up to such a level that it also can cause a flooding. So it is just, playing with the nature is a very stupid thing. Yeah. Now, talking about playing with the nature, the Chinese Communist Party, because they are atheists, yeah, so they are even thinking, dreaming to control all the water they can control. Why? Because they know clean water will be a rare entity in the future. Yeah. So if you have control over drink water and the other not, then you are superior again. So this is why they are also building a lot of reservoirs, a lot of dams, for example, in the Chinese territory of the Mekong River. The Mekong River is the most important river system in Indochina. Vietnam, Cambodia, Laos, and so on, they all rely on such water. The river of Ganges in India, also coming from Chinese territory. So they are also dreaming. So in the case of Mekong, they are already building such dam. So actually, this Indo-Chinese country a bit worried now. They were thinking one day in the future, the Chinese Communist Party may say, if you are not obedient to us, no water for you. So, or even worse, with the mentality of gangster, they can even put poison in the water. Yeah, if you are, if they are in a war, so to say, because they are running unrestricted warfare. Nothing will stop them. The end justifies the means. That's their mentality. So, be aware. Thank you, my friend. And if you like it, don't forget to click like and support us through Patreon and PayPal. Thank you. Bye-bye.